Let's look at exercise 2.4.35. A concrete sidewalk is 8 feet wide and 6 inches thick and will be built around the square playground shown below. How many cubic yards of concrete will be needed for the sidewalk? All right, so first of all, you have to pay attention to quite a few things here. One of the issues is that there are several measurements going on. You are asked to give your answer in cubic yards. That means you have to convert 8 feet to yards, 6 inches to yards. And you also have to understand the lengths that are involved in the sidewalk. You have the width and how deep it will be. So let's take a minute and look at this. So first of all, what I'm going to do is sketch this a little differently so that you can look at it a little more clearly, because that's important for understanding this problem. Okay, so we're going to look at this like this, and we actually need to do something a little further. So one of the things we need to do is we need to connect this line here. This should be a straight line. Having a little trouble making it straight. Imagine that's straight, and this is straight. All right, so we need to understand, we understand a couple of things, but based upon the diagram that's been given us, we need to understand something else. All right, so what we've been shown above is that this is 156 feet. When I go from here to here. Now, and that's true on this side as well. Now, when I look at this portion of the picture, this is 140 feet. And so basically what we have is, and we were told that this is, if we look back at the problem, we were told that this width is 8 feet, and we can see that that is, because we also have 156 from here to here. So based on that given information, we can see if you add 8 to 140 and add 8 more, you do get 156. So this measurement in here is 8 feet. We're told that the depth of the concrete is going to be 6 inches. And we basically see that we have 2 strips that are 140 feet. So we have 2 strips that are 140 feet by, a lot of time we use this cross to mean by 8 feet by 6 inches. And we also have 2 strips that are 156 feet by 8 feet by 6 inches. Now remember, you were told, and let me just kind of color code this so that it's clear. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to color in green the two strips that are 140 feet by 8 feet by 6 inches. I'm going to make those green. And remember, you can't see the depth. We're looking down up. It's as if we're above it looking down, so you can't see the depth. The depth would be a third dimension that you're not able to see. And then I'm going to color purple the strips that are 156 by 8 feet, 156 feet by 8 feet by 6 inches. So those I did in purple. So you can just see and understand that those are the dimensions. And I have 2 of each of these. So there are 4 strips altogether. 2 are 140 feet by 8 feet by 6 inches. 2 of the strips are 156 feet by 8 feet by 6 inches. All right, now here's what you have to understand. If I want to convert 140 feet to yards, there are 3 yards in every foot. So every foot consists of, there's 3 feet in every yard. So 1 yard and 3 feet are equal to each other. So if I put 2 things if I make in the numerator something that's equal to what's in the denominator, this is just equal to 1. So if the numerator equals the denominator, the fraction equals 1. When I multiply something by 1, I don't change its value. So I'm going to multiply by a special form of 1 that allows me to divide the feet out of the problem and wind up with yards. So I have 140 over 3 yards. It's one of the dimensions of one of the strips. Similarly, 8 feet gets multiplied by this, we call these unit fractions, where we use units of measures that are equal to each other to change from one measurement to another. So this is called a unit fraction because it's actually equal to 1. If 1 yard equals 3 feet, and I put 1 yard over 3 feet, that just equals 1. And it allows me to convert from feet to yards. All right, so this is 1/3 of a yard. Now I need to convert inches, the 6 inches, to yards. So in 1 yard, there's 36 inches. So I make a unit fraction that has 1 yard on top and 36 inches on the bottom. And since those 2 things are equal to each other, this fraction is just equivalent to 1. So 6 over 36 yards, which is 1/6 of a yard. 6 inches is 1/6 of a yard. And I need to do that with all of the dimensions. So you hopefully see the pattern. I'm going to kind of shortcut this. 156 feet is 156 over 3 yards. Again, 8 feet is 1/3 of a yard, and 6 inches is 1/6 of a yard. All right, so I have 2 strips whose volume, 2 strips of concrete, whose volume will be 140 over 3 yards times 8 over 3 yards times 1 over 6 yards. So yards times yards times yards is cubic yards. And I'm going to add to that the volume of concrete for the longer strips, which are 156 over 3 yards times 8/3 yards times 1/6 of a yard. Yard times yard times yard is also cubic yards. So this is cubic yards, which is what you were asked to put the answer in. So you can use your calculator to do this calculation. Most of the calculators have a fraction button, so you can enter these fractions in using the fraction button. If you're not sure about how to do that, you could just multiply and then divide later. But you got 2 times 140 times 8 over 3 times 3 times 6, which is 54. And you're adding to that 2 times 156 times 8 times 1, which is over 3 times 3 times 6, which is also 54. Okay, so we have 2 times 140 times 8 times 1 over 54 plus 2 times 156 times 8 times 1 over 54. Okay, so we'll do the problem. So here we get 2,240 over 54. And here we get 2,496 over 54. Those have a common denominator, so we can add the numerators and put them over that common denominator. And we get 4,736 over 54. And you can do it this way if you want. And we are to round that off to the nearest tenth. So I'm using my is approximately equals to symbol, which is a wavy equal sign. So I'm going to divide 4,736 by 54 and round it to the nearest tenth is what the problem told me to do. So I have 87.7. And whenever you're giving a rounded answer, you don't want to round things too soon. So that's why I did all of the, I don't want to round 140 over 3 and 8 over 3 and 1 over 6 and 156 over 3 and then wind up with an incorrect answer. So this allows me to not do any rounding until the very end, and I know I'll get the correct rounded answer. So 87.7 cubic yards of concrete are needed. And that's how you would work this problem. So it's a little challenging because it does have the conversion. Most people probably don't even pay that any attention, but it does have the conversion from feet to yards and inches to yards that's necessary in order to answer the question the way it was asked. Hope this helps.